Hello, this is the Alesis Andromeda A6 and it came out in 2000 and I think it ran for about 10 years. But it's a 16 voice analog synthesizer, and yeah, it's an amazing piece of kit. Now there's a slight problem with this one. Obviously there's always a problem with almost every synthesizer I put on this desk, but there, did you see that? The screen changed on its own. Now that might not sort of sound too drastic, but if I am choosing a program and I'm going through different programs and things, let's have a look. Okay, let's have this bass sound. So number 61, okay. And the screen has just changed all by itself. It's gone because it thinks I've turned the pan control, which I haven't. So now if I'm trying to change the program, it won't change again until I press the program button and then go into whatever. Now we've got these buttons down the bottom here, which is a program group and program number. So you've got basically 127 programs for the user, 127 for the user mix, and 127 bank A, 127 bank B, so on and so forth. So I can go up and down using those. Trouble is I can't remember what number that was that I was on. So if I press 50, it's gone to 51. So was it 55? Was it 56, 57, 58, 59? Was it that one? No, must have been 60. 61. I'm on number 60. And it's changed again on its own. And that's a bit of a problem, because it's not just the pan. If I zoom in for you a moment, try and explain this. So if you can see the pan, if you follow this line, it says potentiometer number 4 is controlling the pan. So if I bring the pan down, see the little piece has gone down there, and I've panned that sound to the left. And it's gone to the center on its own. It's also extended the release. So these potentiometers are analog, you know, like your faders and things like that. And the actual system reads each one of them. This is probably why you can see the lights flashing away here, because it's kind of reading the blocks backwards and forwards. And if you move one of the potentiometers, it turns it into a digital number for the processor and things inside to do what it does, basically. Now if it's a bit dirty, those potentiometers, the resistance changes ever so slightly. So the system thinks you've turned those pots when actually you haven't. Now there's a few buttons on here that I've found that as soon as you sort of slightly nudge or touch them, or you sort of hit the metal a little bit, there you go, it's gone to BPM. Now that actual control is way over there on the left hand side, the top left. So just by me just tapping the metalwork there, it thought, you've changed the tempo. So the tempo changes. So it's moved on to another page. And yeah, that can be a little bit irritating. Now you can lock the display. So if I bring it back to program and I lock the display, it'll say display locked and it'll stay on there. But if I change the programs up and down, yeah, okay, it's probably going to be okay. I don't know. Okay, so you use it with display locked, but no, that's not the point. The thing does need fixing. Turn something? No, it's locked the display. But the whole point of this video actually is not just about fixing this, even though I'm going to open it up and try and clean all these potentiometers and everything. The thing is, I've just purchased this, and it's called DeoxIT Fader F5, the F series. Cleans and lubricates, improves connections and protects surfaces, and does wonderful things like it gives you a cleaner audio, it gives you a clearer video and reliable data. But anyway, I've always cleaned potentiometers by just using isopropyl alcohol and a cotton bud, but for this case I'm going to try and see if this is actually any good. Does it do what it says on the can, type of thing? So I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to clean up all these potentiometers, put it back together and see if I can get it to behave without being so erratic. It's a great little synthesizer. It sounds absolutely amazing. There's another issue while I'm in there. I'll just set up my little mobile phone as a video so I can sort of show you this, and I'll put this onto the screen. So down here you have your pitch wheel and your modulation wheel. Now if you watch the modulation wheel, if I bring the pitch down and then I let the pitch back up again, watch the modulation wheel. That goes up with it. Strange. Ah, there you go. Maybe that's a feature, but I don't quite think it is. But anyhow, that's another thing to look into. Other than that, all the keys are working perfectly for something that's about 20 years old. All the keys, there's the sound of this. But anyway, this has got a lot of wonderful sounds inside it that I really want to keep. And what I did previously to making this video is you can buy a memory card, and the memory cards on eBay at the moment are £80 up to £100, and they only go up to the 2 meg or something, which is tiny. But what I did was I plugged in the USB. This hasn't even got USB on it. I plugged in the MIDI lead and I did a systems exclusive dump. So I've saved all the sounds in here just in case I completely mess it up. So right, anyway, enough of the yapping. I'm going to take this thing apart now and have a look what goodness is inside here. Inside these potentiometers, let me just zoom in a little bit for you. Show you what I'm talking about. You should never spray this into the pots there, because inside here there's a little bit of grease and that helps it kind of move around, and any of these cleaners might remove that grease and you'll find they're very sort of scratchy and horrible afterwards. So that's not the part we need to clean. The part we need to clean is underneath that, which I hope I'm going to get this open and be able to show you. So how do we open it? This thing weighs a ton, by the way. It's really, really heavy. Or either that or I'm just getting too old. I'm trying to lift this up. Oh, blimey. Okay, got lots of screws on the back. Oh, a wonderful thing about this, each of the 16 voices has got its own output. So it's got 16 outputs, one for each voice. And these are TRS jacks that go in there, and you'll have channel 1 and 2, channel 3 and 4, channel 5 and 6, and then you've got your main outputs and your auxiliary outputs. You've got CV inputs, external filter inputs, the usual foot pedal switches and things, and that's that RAM extension card that is very, very expensive to get. So let me flip this that way. Let's see what I need to do. There's lots of screws under here, and there's some screws missing. Oh my! Oh right, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's actually 6 screws missing on the back here. These were in some packaging, and I've had them for many years, and it's great for putting synthesizers on, so as not to hopefully not to break the synthesizer. So if I do that, if I'm lucky, I'll be able to flip it over. That is heavy. Yeah, and one of the feet fell off it as well. So I can just put a screw back in there and put that back on. By Jove, we're in. So, what have we got in here? Well, the first thing I'm looking for, obviously, is how to disconnect all this from all of that. And it looks to me like there's just these two wires here, which plugs in over there, and this one big ribbon cable. And hopefully the two should part. But whilst I've got it open, I'm just looking at the beauty of this thing. You see, this is all your kind of analogy stuff here. Each of these chips is like this chip would be two oscillators, oscillator 1 and 2, and then the next chip would be filter 1 and 2, and then oscillator 3 and 4, filter 3 and 4, oscillator 5 and 6, filter 5 and 6, all the way down to number 15 and 16, which is here. The ASF is the filters and the ASO are the oscillators, and there's sort of like two sets of dies, two chips in there. Well, not two chips, but it's doing two voices, two oscillators, two filters, etc. And then these big chips that you see along the back here, they're PCM 54HPs, which are digital to analog converters, basically. So all this information of turning pots and things and coming through here, etc., etc., that's all digital. That's all digitally controlled, that is. And then it comes down to these chips, and they turn certain digital information into an actual analog piece of information, so that the oscillators and filters and things can all work in the analog domain. So yeah, enough of my geekiness. I want to move this, get this off the desk so I can flip just this lid over and get to work on that. So it does look to me like it's going to be this big one here. Come on, thank you. Yep, that one there. And where's these two going? Oh, they're kind of disappearing down here, but I might be able to unplug there. And this is a bit, oh, that's master volume. Yeah. Right, over time, it seems like one of these half wheels has sort of moved to one side. And just about there, you'll see where the two bits of plastic actually touch. So that is basically why one is capturing the other. See that? That's moving it around because it's actually touching it. So all I've done there with the little file is just taken a bit of that plastic away there. So now it's got a couple of millimeters. So one of them is not going to affect the other. They'll pass each other, no problem. Now some of these ribbon cables are actually glued down with that hot snot to stop them moving, obviously. Except the very large ones, which don't seem, yeah, they're not hot snotted down. Because there's so many pins going into the plug that it's unlikely that it's going to fall out. Whereas the plugs that have only got a few pins, there's not much holding it in place. So if I kind of get started with one panel at a time, and I remove all these screws, very pretty. Okay, first board is off, and as you can probably see, there's sort of tons of crap that's built up over the years around the outside of the potentiometers. Okay, it's on the outside, it's not on the inside, but some of that can work down the shaft. So if I just kind of just do that with my fingers, yeah, you've got all this like fluff, and fluff is not good for potentiometers. And it feels a little bit sticky as well. It's actually quite horrible. But like I say, this thing's been around the world many times. So, you know, you expect it to pick up a bit of this stuff. Oh, this is yeah, it's a little bit, I know I keep saying it, but it's very sticky and gunky, whatever it is. This isn't going to fix the problem with the pots jumping, because the problem with that is actually inside the pot. Yeah, so if I'm correct, just in the bottom right hand corner there's a tiny hole, and the top left hand corner there's a tiny hole. So if I spray a little bit of this cleaner just there and give it a few turns, that may, fingers crossed, help to sort out the problem. One of the things with this is, if you spray something like this into a potentiometer, just use a tiniest little blast. Don't put a ton of it in there. More crap there. Because if you put too much in and it works its way up the shaft, it'll actually dissolve some of the lubricant. I think I've already said that. All right. Okay. Now, put a knob cap on there. Give it a few turns. And this is going to take ages. So, I'll jump this video and start again on the next board. Now, before I put this together, let me just check the backup battery, which is just here. So, take care not to short it out. Oh, 3.1 volts. Good for another 10 years, at least. It's amazing. All those switches, buttons, LEDs, potentiometer, display, everything is just coming through this one ribbon cable. Not absolutely. No, be careful. Does that go down there? Yeah, I guess so. Oh. Oh, just. I think that's about right. This isn't the original colour of this device. This actual black cover was made by somebody else later on, and that was stuck down. This used to be a sort of a grey and blue, or a grey and orangey colour, and looked a little bit busy. So somebody actually made this cover. I think he made about 20 of them and sold them, and obviously some people stuck them on. I think it looks quite nice in black and white. Plug it in and try it. Right, okay, this is its initial startup screen. That's a good sign. So that's still doing what it used to do. Give me a voice. 80s polysynth. Okay. Are you going to stay there? Good, that's working. Bit more volume. Right, okay, that works. Right, by now it would have been rapidly changing its screen and deciding to do something else. So if I choose one of the encoders, it should jump to that screen, that VCF2 thing, if I turn this, which it does. Excellent. So if I go to the pan, go to the center, and it's at 3.81, but it's staying there. I'll tap the metalwork. Good. What about this one? Yes. Good, it's staying where I left it. This normally would be jumping up and down and left and right, as you saw previously. 0. There we go. Go back to program, and then it would jump back to that screen and the pan would be going everywhere. So that looks like it's okay. Brilliant. Right. Okay. I think we're probably onto a winner there. It's staying put. Right, I'm going to leave this switched on, and I'll leave it on for about an hour, but obviously you won't have to wait for an hour. And I'll put all the buttons back on, or I should put the screws in first. I've got to switch it off because I've got to flip it over and put all the screws back into place. Right, okay, didn't think about that. Right, okay, turn off, put all the screws in. Right, yeah, basically, so I've had it on for 1 hour and I've twiddled with all the knobs and everything is doing what it should do on the screen. But the important thing is when I choose a sound, it stays on that. It's not continuously changing its panning, therefore changing the screen and therefore stopping me going ahead with that clickety-clicking the buttons all the bloody time. So, the main thing is, yeah, very expensive. It's 25 UK pounds, 26, something like that. And yeah, it's not the cheapest spray. It's only a small can, 5 ounces, 142 grams. But yeah, that has repaired this synthesizer with just a spray of that. And okay, there's been a few hours involved in taking it apart and fixing, you know, fixing the sort of the mod and everything, which this can't do. But repairing all the potentiometers and everything, just a can of this, it seems to do what it says on the tin. So thumbs up for that. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up as well. Always helps. Anyhow, I'm going to play you out with a bit of music that I've just made. Thanks for watching, by the way.